coconuts are native to Alaska.
Of course they are. I got this one from that palm tree over there.
So we made it to the community of Homer, and there is our tiny little Scamp next to all the big RVs.
There's something about camping and small camper trailers that is the essence of freedom. Why would you negate that freedom? Why would you give that freedom away by putting yourself into a reservation? And so that's what I want to talk about today. This channel, if you're new to this channel, we go out in small camper trailers across the state of Alaska, showing you some tips and tricks we've just learned along the way. We just want to thank all of you who are part of this family. We just got an email from Google saying we've grown by over 9,000 subscribers this year. Thank you so much for making this a community where people want to come and learn from each other. If that sounds like you and you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe below. But let's get right into this one. So what better way to talk with you all about no reservations than to just take you through a trip where we had no reservations. So before we even started our trip to Homer, we were online looking at blogs, looking at our favorite bloggers actually, and many of them were saying during high season, you don't want to go down to Homer, it's too packed, it's too crazy. And right off the bat, we were like, do we need reservations? We had traveled down to Homer typically early in the season, late in the season, but we'd never went down in high season. But typical fashion, we were just going to go straight forward with this. For some credibility on this, we've been going without reservations for 15 straight years, and we have a section of time, 93 days a year, where we just straight travel. And in those 93 days, we'll usually have 1 to maybe 3 reservations. We do this with international travel, we do this with Scamp, teardrop travel, and it's worked really well for us. So in this trip, we just started off, threw everything in and with no plan, really, just a plan of getting down to Homer. And along the way, our first day, we decided along the way to throw in our inflatable kayak. And while doing the drone work of making the video, we found this great boondocking site right next to the water. And if we had that reservation down in Homer, we would have felt conflicted to keep moving on. We would have known we had put the money into the reservation. And you never want to have that kind of feeling. You don't want to be conflicted. Do I keep moving because I'm hooked into this campsite? You just want to be free when you're out here. And so that's what we did. We stayed there a night. Maybe we stayed there 2 nights actually and just hung out. Then the next night we went on, and if you've seen that video, that's the boondocking failure video of ours. I'll put it in the description below. But we found a boondocking site again, but it didn't work out. And we had to keep moving on, and as we were moving on at 1 in the morning, we hit a wildfire, and we were backed up for hours on the highway. And again, if we had that reservation down the way, we'd be stressed about it. It would add this extra stress to the trip that we wouldn't need. And May and I were just talking about when we went through that section where we were in all the construction and backed up because of the fire, we didn't care. We didn't have anything, any timeline, and it just made the trip fun, and now it's one of those memories we'll never forget. So then we got through all that, got down to Homer, and it really wasn't that crowded. I mean, you'll see from the video. Tell me if you think it's crowded.
I'm drinking coconut juice.
You are?
Yes.
How are you feeling? Can you tell we're excited? I love to garden, and Drew's really getting into gardening as well. So these are strawberries. I hope they will last until we get back home to put them in the ground. One of Drew's friends, she took us to her garden. It was just beautiful. Dream garden, just lots of plots, thriving vegetables and fruits. It lasts her all winter. Subsistence is, as you know, something we really love. We love just growing our own food and catching our own fish.
It showed us also, don't trust everything you see on the internet. You know, find out for yourself. There were spots everywhere. There were completely vacant campsites, and this is at high season. And we pull right into a campsite right on the beach designed for our boy.
We are going on a crab hunt.
We're going on a crab hunt.
Tell us about your crab.
He swims and then goes into the water. Then he swims, right?
He could just run and do his thing. If we reserved ahead of time, there is no way we could have guaranteed a spot like that. And that's kind of what we love about not having reservations. You can pull into a town like Homer, discover it, explore, and then choose where you want to stay. There's nothing worse than reserving a campsite, and on the way to your campsite, you pass 3 or 4 better campsites. They're open, they're on the water, they have mountain views, and then you get to yours, and your campsite, you're just stuck between 2 RVs and you have no view. I don't want to live that way, and I don't think you do either. On this trip, we had the freedom to meet people. We met a friend down there who took us to her house to do some gardening and shared experiences with us. If we were tied into an itinerary that said we needed to be in Soldotna the next day or 2, we wouldn't have felt we could slow down and enjoy those friendships. As many of the RVers know, you post your little placards up that says, "Home is where the RV is. Home is where I am." And it is so true. If you're bound into a tight schedule, you don't have that opportunity to create a home away from home and just go with the flow. So here in Homer, we're staying extra days, we're here longer than we think, we're meeting people. Along the way, we met a family in Soldotna that said we could stay on their property. Now again, if we had reservations, we wouldn't be able to stay on that property. We would be torn. We would never be able to choose what we actually want to do because we have to stick to this plan. Is this convincing any of you yet, or is it just, I hope you have the chance to just get out there and try this. It's not as scary as you would think. Having a reservation does give you some peace of mind, but your trailer is the house. It is your home. Like you see here, we can get inside this trailer, relax.
That's curly, straight dinosaur.
Which one do you want to eat?
Once the curtains are up, you don't even realize where you're at. So let's say you do find a place and it's not up to your potential or your standard. It's not like being in a tent or a teardrop where you're just looking around and seeing neighbors you don't want to see and views you don't want to see. You can nestle in your little small camper trailer, play some games with your family, make some meals, and then the next morning find a better spot.
Quick little scamp tip for you guys. We find there's never enough counter space when doing dishes and getting stuff ready, food prepping. And so we just use one of these collapsible aluminum tables, and it just pops up really quick, and it just makes scamp life a little easier. So East loves this tide pooling, so we're just gonna take off here on Bishop's Beach in Homer. What are we gonna do?
Throw a rock.
And instead of playing with sticks, this channel this week is more like playing with rocks. So here we are at another beach in Homer. No matter where you look, there's like a beach. There's beaches everywhere, so it's like a perfect place for families to just come out tide pooling like all the time. You ready to go back to the car and head to another beach?
Yeah, we're gonna see fish too.
Yep, we're gonna go see some fish. All right. So for those of you who've asked about our gas mileage pulling the Scamp trailer with our little 4-cylinder vehicle, we're gonna be coming out with that video pretty soon, so just hang on. Thanks everyone for joining on the journey. Please subscribe if you haven't. Check out our playlist. There's a lot of how-to videos and just getting into small camper life.